That child's a fool. Don't you, Granny? And you're no fool. Oh, no. Quite the contrary with that demure manner of yours. I never know what to make of it. There's always something going on underneath your slide.
Really, Mother, that's not fair.
And let me tell you, my child, that the way you're behaving, your whole demeanor in your own household is utterly disgraceful. Your whole way of life is wrong. Wrong from beginning to end. You ought to be setting your stepchildren a good example. Instead of which, goodness gracious me, look at the example you're setting them. You're extravagant. Absurdly extravagant. What's it for, Who for all this get-up? Oh, really? If I didn't know you better, I might think worse. You're not courting now. If a woman has only her husband to please, she's no need of such finery.
Ah, really, madam, if you will allow me to remark.
However falteringly, and be guided by his precepts, even in a tithe of them, one begins to experience that same peace which is beyond understanding. Oh, I am changed since I met him. He has taught me how all my affections were fixed upon earthly things. He has loosed the ties of my heart, which bound me to the vain things of this world. He has shown me how utterly, without value,
Is this, how to distinguish between the true and the false. But enough about that. One last word about Tartuffe. You have warned me, monsieur. Now let me warn you. Such a heavy cloak of virtue is often worn to conceal the vices beneath it. Then such men can be very dangerous, faithless, deceitful, and full of revenge. Yes, revenge, for it is not gratitude they feel towards their benefactors, no, but envy. And the more they receive, the more that envy twists itself into hatred. And then when they strike, their very weapons have been fashioned from the things nearest, dearest, and most precious.
the guest in our house?
I don't know who you mean.
My dear, aren't you being a little obtuse? We've only one guest in the house. I want your attention, please. I'm speaking of Monsieur Tartuffe.
Yes, Father.
Well,
What
do you think of it? Yes, that's what I asked, and I want you to be very careful, please, in your answer. Consider well before you say anything.
But Father, I'll say anything you like.
That's very sensible, my girl, very, very sensible. Say then that he is a man you respect and admire.
Yes, Father.
A man whose virtues shine out of him like the stars out of the sky.
Yes, Father.
And then you love him, and that would make you very happy indeed if I were making your husband. What's the matter?
I don't think I could have heard.
I spoke plainly enough if you were listening. Were you listening?
You want me to say that I love Monsieur Tartuffe and would be pleased to have him for my husband?
Exactly.
But Father, why should you wish me to tell such terrible lies?
Lies, but I wish it to be the truth. I wish it. And as you have already told me, it is your dearest wish to do as I wish. Doreen! What are you doing there? Eavesdropping? I thought so. Were you listening?
Yes, but I couldn't hear properly. Oh, Mr. Ormond, you didn't mean it.
Mean it? Oh, yes, I did.
No.
Yes, I assure you I did.
You didn't, you're joking.
Joking! I'm...
Oh,
Father's just told me.
oh, yes. Your father's just told me.
Yes,
Well, he's not serious.
he is.
What are you going to do about
I
it?
don't know.
You don't know. Well, that's frank at least.
What can I do? What ought I to do?
You ask me.
Yes.
You ask me what you ought to do.
Yes.
How can you? How can you ask me?
What would I do?
Well, if you can stand there and ask me, I think that you ought to marry Tartuffe.
You mean that?
I do.
If that's your advice, then I'll take it.
Well, it doesn't seem very difficult for you to accept my advice.
It's not more difficult than for you to give it.
I gave it to please you.
But I shall always please you.
So much for your love.
Love? You told me quite plainly that I have to accept the husband my father has chosen for me. So I intend to do so since... And so you feel?
Never mind how I feel, since you've already made up your mind.
That's what you think.
Well, never mind what I think. Don't worry your little head about me.
Why should I?
pardon. You spoke, I think. You said something. Is there anything I can do for you? Ooh.
Oh, I have a message for you, Monsieur Tartuffe.
A message? Yes. Oh, one moment, please. One moment, if you please, before you say another word, one more word. Take this handkerchief.
I thank you, but what am I to do with it?
Clothe yourself, my girl. Clothe yourself. Cover that nakedness, your bosom. Such a sight is an offense, a temptation of flesh, a source of impure thoughts.
My, it doesn't take much to set you off. Does it? Come to think of it, I can see you without a stitch on and never turn a hair.
Oh, more modesty, if you please, or I shall be forced to leave you, and at once.
No, you stay here. I'm leaving, but first I have to give you a message.
No need, no.
Well, that's good enough to look at.
Oh, exquisite. What workmanship. What